Welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. I am Magpie. This is Jackdaw, and this, hiding behind him, is his mighty war dog, Pigeon. Basically just to annoy Shale, really. So we are back in the Circle Tower, although we will not be going into the Fade today. Instead, we're going to go through some of the little side quests and secrets that crop up in the tower, because some of them are quite easily missed, especially on a first playthrough. Yes, I know, I agree, totally. I just want to say, I have created Jackdaw especially for this. I had 8 wardens already, but I thought, why not add another one to the mix, because you can never have too many wardens. Yeah, so I've created Jackdaw especially for these. My plan for Jackdaw is that I'm going to use him to show off certain elements of Origins. There are lots of hidden gems in Origins. There are lots of decisions that a lot of people won't make. There are a lot of little quests and things that you can very, very easily miss. I'm just going to go through all of the things that I think are worth seeing, really, as I'm going through his playthrough. I'm just going to pick out things. He's a mage, as you can probably tell, because some of the things that I have planned will require a mage. He's an elf, because why not? He's also going to be a little bit morally ambiguous. Don't get me wrong, he's lovely, he's very suave and charming and sophisticated and sexy, but some of the things that he does are just going to be a little bit questionable, because, like I say, I want to show off some of the things that a lot of people aren't going to be so keen on doing. But for now, we are in the circle. We are right at the beginning, so these are the doors that the Templars brought us through, or let us through. If you're wondering how I've got Win, it's because I've been through the first floor already, and I've cleared it all out, so that none of the enemies are going to be bothering us or anything, because I'm just going to focus on the quests. The main quests we'll be covering are Summoning Sciences and Watchguard of the Reaching, because those are the two big ones that I always used to find quite annoying on my first 3 playthroughs. They always got kind of stuck in my quest log, and I got to the end of the game and they were still there staring at me and I couldn't figure out what to do about them. So I'll show you how to get past those. I'm also going to show off just like a few little secrets, little secret caches and little codex entries and little notes and things. Just some little fun background stuff in the Circle Tower, because the Circle Tower is quite a fun place to explore. It is a proper sort of, you know, mage academy that you can wander around and find little notes and little, you know, letters between apprentices and things like that, so it's quite fun. So, first one, just a little one, but it's easily missed. If we go into the second room, so that was where we started, first room, second room. Now, in the circle, in fact in Origins generally, but specifically in the circle, the tab key is your friend. So the tab key highlights anything that is clickable, and many of these things you wouldn't notice otherwise. Like, you would have no idea that that was there, because the area that is clickable is so small, the odds of you just sort of walking up to it at random is very unlikely. So tab key will uncover all of these things. I think for like my first 3 playthroughs I didn't even realise that that was a thing, and then as soon as I realised that was a thing I realised how much I'd been missing out on. So we've got these 2 Apprentice Footlockers. There's another one in the first room as well. We will get to those 2 later. Those are for Watchguard of the Reaching. We'll get to that later. Right now we're just bothered about this one. If we click on this one we get the spot, which is a little codex entry. You need to read the codex entries in the circle. I mean, 9 times out of 10 you can ignore the codex entries unless you're really interested in the lore, but in the circle you need to read them, because most of the little side quests sort of, you need to refer back to the codex. Now this is annoying, because one of my little gripes with Origins is this is the codex. They are all just numbers, that's it. I mean, yes, they've got little things if you mouse over them, but you're not necessarily going to know what the one you're looking for is called, and even if you do, there's a lot of them. I mean, look, we're into the 300s here, and if we go up, we've got creatures items, we've got all of this stuff. There is a lot of them, and they are all just numbers. And when you have quest-specific ones, the quest itself, like if you go to the quest journal and click on one, they don't have anything, like there isn't a button that you can click that will take you to the codex entry that is relevant to it. So if you lose the codex entry, you sort of, you know, you have to go trawling through all of it trying to figure out which one it is. So that's just a tiny little gripe I have with Inquisition. Not Inquisition, flippin' heck. Origins, that's the one we're playing. I know what I'm talking about, don't worry. So yes, we've got the spot. So we've got here, Maker's Wind, Darcy. I said I'd wait, but it's not just a disagreement. Aldred sent abominations loose. One was in my mentor's robe. If you make it here, something in the spot may help you out. No point in hiding it from the senior mages now. Don't worry about Denri's usual fee for moving his bed. He's dead. So yes, the circle's not in great shape, but now that we've got that, if we go back into the first room, along here, and Denri's bed shows up. And that does not show up before you've read that note. So now we can go that, and if we click that, we get some freebies. So that's just a little secret, very easily missed. Which brings us on to summoning sciences. Now, I have moved through into the library. So this is where we started. This is where you pick up Wynne, and now we are in the library. And the moment you enter the library, well, the moment you enter the library, you'll actually get attacked by abominations. But once you've dealt with those, you will find here a torn book. And if we pick up the torn book, that kicks off summoning sciences. Yes. So the summoning signal will ignite upon ritual ignition. If the order is incorrect, the ritual will reset. And then it tells you what the ritual is. And that's all that you need. You only need the second half of the book, but if we go through here, you can find the first part of the torn book. Oh yes, and that's a mystical site of power. That is for one of the Mage's Collective quests, I believe. You have to activate mystical sites of power all across Thedas. And that is one of them. Yes, the torn book. So yes, this kicks off the Summoning Sciences quest. You found a textbook of arcane summoning rituals. It would be unwise and altogether unsafe to engage in such exercises within the library in its present state. Therefore, we are totally going to do that thing. Now, there's another apprentice note there. We're ignoring that for now. So, we have the summoning font. If you click on the summoning font, we suddenly have all of these new things that we can click on, and we have these little summoning circles. Each one of these we will be able to summon something, and we will be able to get an item of them. The second one might be a bit of a problem now I'm thinking about it, because I am very low level. I've come here straight from Lothering, so yes. But we'll deal with it. Right, so if we go back to the codex entry, where is it? Back to the codex entry. Yes, the good thing about the codex is it always remembers what the last one was you were on, so you can just nip back to it nice and quickly. And we have exercise 1. So, address the summoning font, which we have done. Select the second passage from the Tome of Spirit Personages, second shelf. Pass open hand through the first summoning flames. This is the first summoning flame. As you can see, summoning the first. Tome of Spirit Personages is over there, so all we need to do is click on it, and it will make a fancy noise, and then we go to summoning the first. And we've summoned a little nug who promptly dies. And we can then get a little garnet off him. I think the items that you get off them are random. But you get, you know, better items off the other ones. So that was number 1. And then back to the summoning font. And back to the codex. Summoning the second. Recite Rodicom's Uncommon Calling. Place 1 silver coin at the feet of the statue of Magus Gorvich. Okay, so what's that? Rodicom's and the big statue. Rodicom's... which side is that on? On the other side. There we go. And back to the statue. This is proper old school RPGing, this is. This is how they did it back in my day. None of this open world voiced protagonist nonsense that you get these days. This was a proper RPG. Well, not really, to be honest. I think there are some hardcore RPGs back in the day that would have laughed at the notion of Origins. Anyway, right, so make sure you have a rogue on hand for this one. I'm not convinced this is actually going to work, because like I say, we're quite low level. And you needed quite a high pickpocket skill. But if you summon the second... Right, pause immediately because he doesn't stay there for very long. And you can see this summons a trickster, and we might be able to pickpocket him. Yay! I don't know what we got because it doesn't tell us. That's another gripe with Origins. It says items received and then you click on it and it just takes you to your inventory and you have no idea what you've just received. But we got something out of it anyway. And then he's going to disappear. So yes, you need to pickpocket him. That is literally the only time in the entire game that I will ever use pickpocket. I don't know what else pickpocket is there for. It's basically, that's the only time I ever use it. And then the third one... God, flip it. People talk about grindy quests in Inquisition. Flipping heck. Yeah, Origins had its fair share of grindiness as well. But more charm, I think. Alert Senior Magi of the lesson commencement. Win! We're commencing this lesson, alright? There we go. Recite the second passage of Elvorn's Grand Beastery. Trace the chosen sigil on the first area common table. Place a lock of hair between the pages of the Spiritorium. I'm not even going to try that one. Perform Callum's gesture, 2 fingers, alright, at the statue of Major Scorpion. You want me to give the statue the 2 fingers? Alright. Breathe on the dried hemlock in the novice phylactery. Do you think I can remember all of that? Elvorn table, Spiritorium, statue phylactery. I can remember that. Okay, Elvorn, where are you, my darling? Elvorn? What was the next one? Table. I think the next one was table. Table, Spiritorium, statue, phylactery. Yes? Yes. Table, Spiritorium, statue. This is riveting entertainment, this is. I don't know if this quest is even worth it, to be honest. Just the... It's quite cool, though. It's quite a cool thing to do. You're sort of engaging in a nice, fun mage thing. Novice phylactery. Why would there be a phylactery in the library? Unless it's a book called Novice Phylactery. No, because it's got dried hemlock in. Actually, why would a phylactery have dried... You know what? I'm not going to question it. And summoning the third. And as you can probably tell, this one's going to attack us. If we just summon... There we go. So we had one that died and we looted it. We had one we could pickpocket, and then we've got one that just attacks us. So we will just very quickly take care of him. So that is the quest completed. Or is it? Because if you go to your journal, the quest is indeed completed. I now have absolutely nothing for the circle, which is interesting. I have nothing for the circle, like the... Oh, it'll turn up in the blight one, won't it? Yeah, that's what it is, a broken circle, there we go. However, if we go back to the summoning font, and we activate it again, and then we go through here, hiding behind these bookcases, is a secret 4th one. It's a little Easter egg that you can get. Now, the Codex obviously does not tell you anything about a 4th one. However, if you use a bit of savvy, you can deduce that maybe, just maybe, if we try the entire sequence all together, so if we do Tome of Spirit Personages from Exercise 1, and then we do Rodicom's Uncommon Calling, and the statue from Exercise 2, and then we do the whole big list from Exercise 3 again, may just unlock something for us. So, we've got Tome of Spirit Personages, and then it was Rodicom's Uncommon Calling, I believe. I actually wonder whether these names are like little clues about things like, you know, the calling and other things. I don't know. Dragon Age is big for like slipping in little clues. I mean, I know they had like, I think, did they have 5 games planned when they were writing Origins? I mean, I think they had the storyline pretty planned out in advance. What was next? It was Elvorn, wasn't it? Yes, I don't know how much like the story has changed as they've gone along, but I just can't shake the feeling that there's all sorts of little hints and things that even after you've played all 3 games you just don't pick up on. Or like in Inquisition, whenever I'm playing Inquisition, like the tiniest thing happens and I'll be like, oh, is that a hint for what's happening in the future? Because I think there's a bit where when you're on the war table, you know how the advisors sort of chat to each other, and there's a bit where Josephine goes, have you ever wondered what lies beyond the edges of the map? And the moment she said that, I was like, there's something deadly lying beyond the edges of the map, isn't there? At some point in the future, we're gonna get, like, invaded by the demon army who come from off the edge of the map. That's what's gonna happen. Because, you know, this is Dragon Age. Whatever is off the edge of the map, it's not going to be, like, the island of cute, adorable puppies who just want to be friends with us. It's going to be something horrific and terrible. Right. Now, get your bow out, Liliana, for heaven's sake. I mean, she doesn't need her bow imminently. It's just, you know, I quite like her having it. Now, I'm just going to save, because this is another one we need to pickpocket, and like I say, I'm very low level, so the pickpocket might fail a couple of times. It is a sort of chance thing, I think, on whether it's successful or not. But it's quite a fun one, because it's a little Easter egg. So if we summon him...
This is rather awkward, what?
Yes, that's not Jowan, believe it or not. I know it's Jowan's voice, but this is all foreshadow. And if we can manage to pickpocket... No. Okay, we'll give it another go. Give it as many goes as I need. If I manage not to pickpocket him, I'll just Google it and find the codex entry for you. Because you get a little codex entry and it's quite fun.
Oh, this is rather awkward, what? I'm not supposed to be here.
Yay! Okay.
Not right.
So I don't know what he's given us, because like I say, no idea. But if we go to the codex... we get books to pursue for future endeavours. Lost Countenance, Ferelden to Orlesian Phrasebook, must not offend the potential landlords. Raising Spirits, Offspring and the Fade, terrible twos indeed. Forestfall, this is the interesting one. Forestfall, Truth and Legend in the Search for Arlathan. Survivors, question mark, Poppycock. Origin of Thesis, is that? Knowing more than everyone without looking like a jackass. Never got the time to read this, maybe there's a stage play. So... there are theories that these are like little hints as to future storylines, particularly this one, the fact that there might have been survivors from Arlathan. People have said that that maybe hints at the storyline of Inquisition. I don't know. They may have been like potential storylines that they were toying with and they didn't know which ones were good. I mean, this one's interesting. The Lost Countenance, Ferelden to Orlesian Phrasebook, must not offend the potential landlords. I mean, what's that about? Is that like that Orlay's gonna invade again? Or something? I mean, he's called All Foreshadow. This must be like some kind of hint to what they were planning in the future. No idea what this one's about. Raising Spirits, Offspring and the Fade. Yes, but anyway, it's just a fun little codex entry. Just a little Easter egg. And he does give you something. I don't know what he's given me. He's given me something. I've probably got like... no idea. Could have been anything. Not a clue. Anyway, so that was Summoning Sciences, completed in its entirety. So you can clear that annoying one out of your quest log. So bizarre thing I've just found out. These blood mages that you tackle on the second level, I've just popped up to the second level, because there's something up here I need to show you. This is where I came in. Hang on, I'll walk you through. There we go, that's the door I came in through. So you come in, and Owain is directly in front of you, and that's a door you can't get through. And then once you've spoken to Owain, you go through here, and there's a group of blood mages there, and you fight them, and you kill two of them, and then there's one of them still alive, and she sort of talks about, you know, why they've done what they've done, and how they want to be out of the circle and all of this kind of stuff. And you can either kill her or let her go. I have almost always let her go. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have always let her go, and this time, just for the sake of expediency, just because, you know, I was trying to set it up so I can show you stuff, I decided, oh, I'll just kill her. And she doesn't fight back. She just stands there and lets you kill her. I've never known that before, unless it was a little glitch or something, but she just stands there and lets you kill her. That was really sad. I'm very sorry. Sorry. Anyway, yes, one tiny thing I just wanted to show you is Belle's cache. So Belle's cache, there is a... when you're leaving Lothering, so you know when you're leaving Lothering, and you meet Bodan and Sandal, and you fight those Darkspawn, there is the corpse of a blood mage there, and she has a note on her. And now I'm going to see if I can find it, so give me a moment. Maleficarum Regrets, that's it, 3:30. It's in quest related, even though it's not actually related to a quest, because there isn't a quest turning up in my journal, I don't think, about it. Is there? No, there's nothing. I don't have anything for, No. Maleficarum Regrets. I won't go back. Let them hunt. and dread finding me. But you, Melis, should not live this life. It would please me if you found a life in the Circle Tower. I left a few things there, mostly stolen from the enchanters. Sell them to fund a new path. The cache is in the study area, middle alcove. Goodbye. Once you've picked up that note, this here is Belle's cache. You pick that up, and you just get some goodies. And like I say, it's not a quest or anything. It's one of those things that just turns up. Oh, another thing worth mentioning. Toppled statue. Right, I am in the Chantry, which is on the 2nd level. Senior Mage's Quarters. Chantry. Toppled statue. If you click on that, somewhere. Ooh, there we go. It is one of the Revenants. And I'm not going to deal with it right now because, frankly, can't be bothered. But yes, there are Revenants in most of the areas. So there's one in the Orzammar Palace, there's one in the Brazilian Forest, there's one in the back streets of Denri. There's ones in other places probably. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there are Revenants that you can fight across all of the areas. And this is the one in the Circle Tower. You don't have to do it right immediately. You can come back after you've finished. Yes, I know, I agree totally. You can come back once you've finished the Broken Circle quest anytime, so you can wait till you're a higher level. I mean, it probably wouldn't cause us too many problems, but like I say, I just can't be bothered. But that's where it is, if you're wondering. And Irving's office now.
This is Irving's office.
Yes, I've just said that.
I expected to find him here, but I suppose that's too much to hope for.
Yeah, that would be a bit too much to hope for, yes. Okay, Irving's office, worth mentioning because Irving's chest, we have the Black Grimoire, which you can give to Morrigan to kick off her personal quest. There is also, I believe, some... Oh, yeah, there we go. There's a small painted box that we'll give to Sarah later. So, if you read the codex entries in the tower, you get extra background to what actually happened. You learn that blood mages were being trained in secret, that there was sort of, you know, secret lessons going on where they were kind of training them up, and Uldred had actually been planning this for a long time. You learn about all of the little disagreements that were going on between the senior enchanters and things like that. I think this is another one. Arguments between the various fraternities have become more frequent and heated. I have alerted the College of Magi in Cumberland. Always makes me giggle a little bit. Cumberland used to be a county in the north of England, not far from where I'm from. It doesn't exist anymore, it's Cumbria now. But it just always makes me giggle because like a lot of the people, I think it was like in the 70s or the 80s that it was disbanded and became Cumbria, and a lot of people around where I am will still call it Cumberland. And I always think it's quite funny whenever I hear Cumberland come up in Dragon Age, and it's like, because it just makes me think of the north of England. And Kirkwall as well. Kirkwall is a place at the very top of Scotland. And it's one of those places that appears on the weather map on the news. And whenever, I mean, I very rarely watch the news, but whenever I'm watching the news and the weather map comes up and you just see Kirkwall at the top, I'm always like, oh, Kirkwall, I'll go and visit Varric. Anyway, the threat of the Blight has actually served some good in unifying us in a common cause, but it does not bode well. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, this is basically just saying that people in the circle are disagreeing, things are getting heated, everything's kind of coming to a bit of a head. It's a nice bit of setup for Dragon Age 2, actually, although you wouldn't realise it on your first playthrough. Right, yes, that's everything in Irving's office. So I'll go and clear out the top floor, and then we can do Watchguard of the Reaching. And then there's one more I need to mention, and then we'll be done. So I'll just go and quickly do that, but I won't bore you with all of the endless combat or anything.
People with a certain dignity and grace. It draws you to them, no matter who you are or who they are. I think the lowest peasant can have the most noble spirit, and it will always shine through. It is this nobility of spirit that you share with Cecily.
Why, thank you, Leliana. It is very kind of you to say that.
You two finished now? Can I get on with my thing? Excellent, good. Okay, so, Watchguard of the Reaching. I have cleared out the 3rd floor, and I've nipped back down to the 1st floor, to where we started, because it is time to start collecting those apprentice notes. There are, I believe, 5 sets. I have literally just looked it up. Hang on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6! There are 6 sets of notes to collect. Yes, alright, Pigeon, calm down. There are 6 sets... Shut up. There are 6 sets of notes to collect. I don't think you have to collect all of them. I'm pretty sure if you just get one, it will trigger the quest. However, if you actually want to be able to read the codex and figure out what you're doing, you do need all 6 of them. So, first room. So this is the door you come in through. First room, there will be an Apprentice Footlocker. And if you click on the Apprentice Footlocker, you find a few pages from a diary. Yes, it kicks off the quest there. No, and stop asking. I'm not getting in trouble because of you again. I don't care what's in the basement, and neither do the senior magi. I mean, I know what's in the basement because I went down there during my origin quest, but alright. Everything is about Uldred and the upper floors. I don't know what you're digging up, but those tomes are way older than our lesson texts. An apprentice shouldn't touch them. And then ritual note, the threads that burned before a giant spear raised. He stands alone, so whispers are known false. And scribbled in the corner, don't need him, away new, reaching. These notes don't make a lot of sense, alright? But it's fine, they were clearly written by a madman. I don't know whether it's suggesting that he's being, like, influenced by something, like if there's some sort of dark magic has got a hold of him, or if he's just a lunatic. But this apprentice who is writing these notes, he's discovered something. He's discovered, like, a dark secret from the past. Like a dark ritual type thing that hasn't been performed in years. And he's trying to pursue it. So, you know, he's a bit mad, obviously.
Delighted.
And then we get the second part. I'm telling you guys, it's a test like the summoning. Why else would lessons be cancelled? And that outburst in the library with Uldred. An older tome fell to a page on the reaching. I copied what I could before they could push us out. Ritual note, a sword lowered to strike through the ground. You can't tell me I wasn't supposed to see that. It's too convenient. I'm looking for more. You'd be smart to help. Gant. So that was the second room. So there's one in the first room, there's one in the second room. And then there is a third one on this floor. If we just head past Petra and Kinnon, yes? You don't look terribly happy, darling. Are you alright? It'll be okay. It'll be fine. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna go now. That was a bit creepy, wasn't it? Oh, back to the lovely, lovely library. You know, I remember the first time I played, or the first few times I played, I thought that Circle Tower seemed really grim. I think it's actually quite pretty now. Quite like it. There's another one hidden in here. First enchanter Dorval fell suddenly to a disease of the lungs. This unfortunate disruption in the direct line of descent from Tower founding should be treated as an opportunity. The Circle will reform practices to better address the times. Many rituals remain valuable, but some, the two bells, Garnold's Lament, Watchguard of the Reaching, Benford Dar, have little or no meaning in our texts. We will move forward as Dorval would have wished and commit these and other ceremonies to the age we have left. With no plan of estate, his belongings have been transferred into the common library for the benefit of all. From the Circle of Magi Declaration, Kinloch Hold. Transitional 590 Exalted. That probably means something to people who are more clued up on the lore than I am. And scribbled in the corner, reaching again and old. They don't know. Idiots. Wards weaken. I don't pretend to particularly understand what this quest is about, to be brutally honest with you, but, you know, I know how it's done. You don't always have to understand the science behind something to be able to operate it, is what I'm saying. And then if we head back up to the second floor, and if we head past Owain, into the room where I killed that poor blood mage. And there's another one hidden in here. There's also a chest that Lil should be able to open now because... Yeah, alright Lil! Flippin' heck! Because she's leveled up. I do like because when you click on your companions, what they say depends on what their relationship is with you. So if you have a low approval with them, they'll be very annoyed and sort of like, yes, what do you want? Whereas if they like you, it'll be like, oh yes, my friend, what can I do for you? Type thing. But when they're at neutral, it sort of goes as if they don't like you, so it just seems like everybody's permanently pissed off at you at the start of the game. Will you stop digging up carpets? Flippin' heck, I think the Circle's got enough problems, don't you? Anyway, if we carry on through... it's that little room there, I think, has the other one on this floor. I mean, you will just find them as you're going through, so long as you use the trusty tab button. And, yep, there it is. Today we passed even further, far beyond any reach of man. The inverted glow of the Black City was always on the horizon of perception, but a path eludes, as always. Untravelled in memory, living or otherwise, there is a pull and whispers abound. Something great is there, and away from this, always in peripheral, another mind untethered. Tomorrow I will reach out with my full attention and try to rescue him from his listing. Can someone else have come this far? The wonders we will share. Ritual note, the vessel in hand, words from another time, drip literary power. Documents of the Reaching, estimated 2nd century ancient, first enchanter appointed Watchguard of the Reaching to be held in secret. Scribbled in corner, Reaching, before the circle, someone else in the Fade, I want this. Yes. So they went into the Fade. Again, I don't pretend to know what this is about. I feel like this is telling me something. I feel like this is some sort of, ooh, wonderful bit of lore that's like a hint to something that turns up later. I personally am not clued up on it enough to connect the dots. I'll be honest with you. I've played a lot of Dragon Age. I love Dragon Age. I'm more clued up on Dragon Age than I am on anything. Including reality, probably. But, like, the lore is so intricate that there are bits of it I don't really get. I'm not one of those people who spends ages and ages trawling through all of the lore and coming up with...
What is it?
Yeah, all right, Liliana, I get it. You don't want to be here. And coming up with, like, intricate theories and things. Those people are amazing, by the way. I love those people. I'm just not one of them. I don't have the patience or the intellect, I fear. So that was the second one on this level. And then if we head up to 3rd level... Right, so we're on to the 3rd level. And this is where you come out, and it is the room immediately on your left. You will find the last apprentice note. This is also where we do the ritual. Pro tip for this room, actually, if you're having trouble with it during the combat, what happens is when you come in, there are a load of corpses on the floor. 3 of them get up and attack you, and it's quite an easy fight. But then once you've killed them, all of the others get up and attack you too, and an arcane horror comes through that door, and you're getting swarmed by corpses because they're all around you. And this is the thing about Dragon Age, never get surrounded, that's when you die. As long as the enemies are in front of you, you've got a chance. And the arcane horror comes in over there, and you usually don't even see him, and he does terrible things like you know, magic-y things, and you can die quite easily. To make this fight much easier for you, what you want to do is you want to leave your companions out here. You want to put the hold thing on so they won't move. And you want to go in, trigger those first few corpses, and then immediately run back here. They'll come running towards you. You can fight them in here. Then you just wait here. Don't let your companions run off. Wait here. The other corpses will wake up. They will come through and get you. You can fight them off quite easily because they're in front of you and they don't have magical backup. And then, once you've taken care of that, then you come through here and the arcane horror will be waiting for you here. And when you're tackling him alone, you'll be able to take him out really easily. So that's a little pro tip for this room. This is one of those bits of Origins where there are a lot of fights like this in Origins where they are really, really difficult, and you try and you try and you try, and then you find a little trick, and it is almost always lead the enemies away one at a time, let them come to you, you know, just try and split them up so you're not tackling them all at once. And then suddenly the fight becomes incredibly easy. So that's just a little tip for you if you're ever struggling with this area. So yes, that is the last apprentice note over here.
Tricked into a partial ritual. Curiosity unchecked became greed for this unfortunate apprentice.
Well, you understand more of what's going on than I do then, Wynne. Let's see what the last one is. His silver cord transmuted black. Black! Exclamation mark. There is no wonder his form shattered. What returned was not of the mortal nor native fade. Does an afterthought prove the gods? When direct action is long missing, there is no purpose to this beast. Let the strength of the tower wither it and memory pass. The only legacy to be taught. Stay focused within the fade, whims escape to their own action. Ritual note, a sword raised to sever connection. Documents of the Reaching, estimated 2nd century. Ancient, first enchanter, blah 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 blah. And scribbled in the corner, cord, peasant magic, must know, can almost see, whispers what. No idea. Literally not a clue. Again, I feel like this is trying to tell me something. Not a clue. But this means we can put it all together, bring us to the only bit of the codex entry that is actually important, and that is this bit. So Whisper says Great Hall, hidden above us the whole time. So we are currently in the Great Hall. The vessel in hand, words from another time, drip literal power. Put on bowl. A sword raised to sever connection, cut cord. A sword lowered to strike through and ground. Bile. The threads placed before a warrior, spear raised, shielded from each side so whispers are known false. Where is this? It whispered order, but not where. It's in my head. Yeah, he was totally mental bananas by this point. Right. So, important things. Bowl. Sword raised, sword lowered, shield. That's what you need to know. And if we hit our trusty tab button, we will find that these statues are now things we can click on. So, what was it? Just forgotten what I've said. Bowl, sword raised, sword lowered. So you will notice that statue has its sword raised, that statue has its sword lowered, and that statue has a bowl. So, if we go bowl, for some reason there's no sound effect or anything when you click these. I don't know if that's like a bug or something, but it's fine. You have clicked on it. Sword raised, and then sword lowered. I have also read that these statues can actually switch around, that they're not always in the same place every time. And the last one was shield. Now, there is not a shield one here that we can click on, so we need to just go a little bit further into the tower. Right, so I've just fought my way through to the end of the 3rd floor, which is in here. We came in here. That's the Great Hall where you do the ritual, and then you come all the way around here, and you come in here. And this is where the final statue is, and if we click on it, then a low rumble signals the lowering of ancient protections. Something is free in the lowest levels of the tower. So, we're going to get to that in a moment, because there's one more thing I need to show you. So, one final little quest. We'll finish Watchguard of the Reaching in a minute, but just before then, one final little quest. No, that's the wrong thing. In these little rooms here, so this is on the 3rd level, because we're going up to the 4th level, which is where the sloth demon is, but we're not going into the fade. There's no fade in this video, I promise. These 4 little rooms here. So we came in here, this is the Great Hall, then we came through here. These 4 little rooms here. Once you've cleared them out, if you go in, they each have a torn page in them.
As you desire.
Got a very sexy voice, Jackdaw. I think I went for the suave voice. I think it is. It's very, very nice, very sexy. My favourite one is, is it Cocky? I think it's Cocky. It's the one that Elia has, my Canon Warden. She has some of the best lines. Honestly, I think despite the fact that the Warden, only has minuscule voice acting, it is my favourite voice acting of all 3 protagonists. I think it gets so much personality into just those few little lines. So this kicks off the quest. Okay, apparently it doesn't. Hold on a minute. Okay, so it's once you've got all 5 pages, it'll kick off the quest 5 pages, 4 mages. And I'm not going to bore you with the codex entries for that. It is basically that here we are. Several of the Circle Enchanters were unknowingly studying the same forged tome. Someone named Balin Jome took advantage of their egos and likely made a tidy profit. Keep an eye out for him. What that will do is that will trigger a random encounter when you're travelling around the world map, where this guy will turn up and he'll attack you and you kill him. That's it. That's the entire quest. And I googled all of these quests before doing this, just to make sure that there weren't, any secret bits of them that I didn't know about. And I couldn't quite remember what it was called, and I put in Dragon Age Origins 4 into Google, and the first thing that came up was foursome. I was like, yep, that's Dragon Age fans for you. Anyway, so yes, that's just a little quest that kicks off. So there's a page in here, there's a page in here, there's 2 pages in here, and then there's 1 in here. And it's all on these little things. So that kicks off that quest. But we are now just need to go and finish Watchguard of the Reaching, which you can wait to do because you have to go back down to the 1st level. You can just complete the Circle Tower and then come back and do it afterwards. But we're not going to do that because we have to fight a big thing, and you may remember that we left Petra and Canon down there, and if they are there when the big thing appears, they will help us fight it, which is very useful. Right, so we are back on the 1st floor again, up and down this tower like a friggin' yo-yo, haven't we? If we head through the library into... just ignore the dead mages, it's fine. Right, yes, back into here, which is where we met Wynne. There are children, which I'm slightly concerned about, but there are also mages, which is fine. I mean, they look a bit terrified, which isn't good, but it'll be fine, guys, alright? It'll be fine. There's definitely not about to be a giant monster turn up or anything like that. Now, head over to here. The big metal door that you would have gone through in the Mage Origin if you decided to play as a mage. And if we click on it, a rage demon will turn up. Oh, well, it's actually it's a whatever one of those is. It's a rage demon. It looks like a rage demon to me. Right, so we're now just gonna have a quick battle. Oh, okay, alright, okay, we've got backed into a corner. That is not good. Win, move. There we go, good girl. And then Lil, get your bow out. How many times do I have to tell you? And go and join the mages, because I think they need some moral support. And then I'm just gonna we're doing alright, actually. We're doing alright. Curse of Mortality, that's a good one. We'll do that. And then see, because they all join in. Whoops, the daisies. They all join in, which is very useful. When just heal someone. Did you just throw fire at a rage demon? You are an actual idiot. Right.
A strange thing. Pure literal distraction.
Pure literal distraction, apparently. Well, Wynne seems to know what was going on better than I did. And he had some Viridium chainmail on him. I mean, I feel underwhelmed, to be honest with you. Oh, he's got some more stuff on him, though. Oh, he's got a fancy sword and some shiny things. That's alright. So that was Watchguard of the Reaching. Not only one of the most stupidly named quests in the world, but probably one of the more tedious ones. And that was some of the little secrets, or I believe all of the little secrets of the Circle Tower. So that was Summoning Sciences and Watchguard of the Reaching were the two big ones. We've got the 5 pages for mages, which is just a little thing. One thing I forgot to mention with Summoning Sciences. You remember we summoned that trickster that we got Leliana to pickpocket? Not the last guy, not All Foreshadow, the second one. We got her to pickpocket him. When you summon him, that actually triggers a Chanter's Board quest from the board in Redcliffe. And it's basically that somebody has been attacking caravans on the road, and you find out that it was actually the trickster that you unleashed, and it's called Unintended Consequences or something like that. And as you're travelling around the world, you'll encounter him and you have to fight him and defeat him. So that's just a little thing that crops up if you do that quest. It's just a little extra side quest. So that was the Circle Tower. If it was in any way helpful to you, I'm very glad. If it was not, fair enough. If you carried on watching for this long, I'm also very glad. But until next time, Jackdaw and I shall say farewell. Hang on, I'm just reading an email from my dad. Give me a minute.